Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for more videos like this one. I've got tutorials and tech reviews and some photography tutorials as well. So if you enjoy that kind of thing, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button. And if you don't like it, hit the thumbs down button. That's okay. Go ahead. I don't mind. You can tell me you didn't like it. That's okay. But let's go ahead and get into this video. This is my second video on the G15. I already made one at the beginning of the summer in June, and it went into detail about the thermals, the RTX performance, a modification I made to the vents on the bottom cover of the laptop to allow for more airflow to the fans, and therefore more airflow to the and allow better cooling for the GPU and CPU. But now this time, people wanted to know what the handoff was between the thermals of the GPU and CPU and some of the other components in the laptop. So with those fan vents open, the GPU and CPU get better cooling performance. But as I have found in my testing, that there is a handoff between those temperatures as well as the temperatures of the keyboard, the heat pipes near the VRM, and the RAM module. Now, this laptop does not have temperature sensors built into the keyboard or the RAM module or the VRMs. So what I had to do was I had to use this infrared temperature sensor, and I'll show a clip of how I did that in just a moment. But I wasn't able to actually get a direct reading of the VRMs with everything closed, obviously, and I could have opened it up and then got a reading, but we wouldn't have been getting the same type of airflow. So like it wouldn't have worked. I wouldn't have got an accurate reading if I would have taken the bottom cover off to measure. So I had to measure through the vent, which gave me a reading of the heat pipes directly near the VRMs. So you'll still get an idea of the type of airflow that vent is getting and how the VRMs might be getting cooled better. But when you look at the charts here in a moment, you'll see that it's not a direct reading of the VRMs. So just take that with a grain of salt, but it still gives you an idea of how the airflow changes the temperatures of the other components. But first, I just want to mention that with the fan vents closed, you can see here on the screen that air will be drawn in through these two vents right here and here. So with the fan vents closed and air coming in through those two ports instead, it allows the keyboard, the RAM, and the VRMs to get better airflow. So let's go ahead and take a look at the handoff. So the first temperatures I have up on the screen here are at idle with the fan vents open. And everything looks pretty decent here. Nothing to complain about. Everything is well within spec, I would say. Everything is pretty cool. And let's go ahead and take a look at the chart. Now this is at idle with the fan vents closed, and now as you can see, the GPU and CPU temperatures go up about 1 degree, and the VRM, RAM, and keyboard go down about 1 degree. So we can already see a trend starting to form here. Now let's go ahead and move on to the next chart, which is at under load, this is kind of a light gaming load. I just kind of opened up Metro Exodus and let it run. So this isn't like an extremely heavy gaming load. Textures and stuff weren't being constantly loaded. I just let it load up to one screen in the game and just let it heat up. But so under load with the fan vents open, you can see here that the GPU and CPU are well within spec. But let's go ahead and take a look at our temperatures with the fan vents closed, and we're gonna see the same trend. So with the fan vents open, everything looks still well within reason, but with them closed, the temperatures of the CPU and GPU go up about 10 degrees respectively, with the VRM or the heat pipes near the VRM, the keyboard, and the RAM modules going down about 10 degrees respectively. So there is definitely a trade-off in temperatures there. When you do open those vents, you do get higher temperatures on the keyboard, the RAM module, and the VRM area. Like I said, I wasn't able to get a direct reading, but this is still a good idea of a good representative of what type of cooling performance you're getting on the VRMs. So, but also the drive, the SSD, it did not really see a performance or a temperature reduction nor gain with them open or closed. I think that's just because that area of the board, there's not very good airflow, and that SSD doesn't tend to run very hot anyways. I hope you guys are satisfied with this testing. I feel like I did it as extensively as I could. I don't have a thermocouple or a temperature probe I could have installed in here. It's just not something I have in my toolkit, so I wasn't able to do it like that. So the infrared sensor was as good as it's going to get for me. But let's go ahead and move on to the next test. The next test we have is a fan noise test. And as you can see here, I had to, the way I mimicked the fan vents being open and closed in all of these tests, including the thermals, was I couldn't very well put those flanges, those plastic pieces back on the vents as they were kind of riveted on. I wasn't going to glue them. So what I did was I put a piece of duct tape over the vents on the bottom of the laptop, and I think this mimics the plastic in there perfectly well. So let's go ahead and get into this. So our first test is at idle with the fan vents open, and then at idle with them closed, then under load open, and then under load closed. Now as you're going to hear here in a moment, at idle I would say they're just as quiet with them open and closed. I wouldn't say there's much of a difference, but under load you're going to hear that with them open they almost sound a little bit quieter, and closed it sounds slightly louder. But I want to say that that's kind of just the change in tone that there was. So it does appear on the waveform also in the editor that with them closed it is louder, but to me, to my ear, I wouldn't say that it is louder, but just a different tone. So let's go ahead and take a listen to that now. Okay, and for the final test, I wanted to get a sense for what the speakers were like in the laptop. So as you can see here on the screen, there are two downward firing speakers towards the front of the laptop near the trackpad here and here. And these speakers are not great. A lot of people were asking me to do testing on this, what the sound was like. Is it quiet? Is it loud? So I hope this test is a good representative of that. I tested the sound and recorded at 25%, 50%, 75%, and 100%. And as you're going to hear again in a second, starting around 50%, you can hear some distortion, especially in the lower tones. And it only gets worse at 75% and is unbearable at 100%. And at 25%, which is pretty much the only volume you're going to get with no distortion, it's very low, it's very quiet, and it would be tough to hear in any environment where there's any type of background noise. So if you're going to use this, I recommend getting headphones. So let's go ahead and take a listen to what that sounds like, what the distortion sounds like, and you guys can decide for yourselves. Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm the Bearded Techie, and today I got a new tutorial for you guys. But first I want to go ahead and thank today's sponsor, me. Because I don't have sponsors, baby. Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm the Bearded Techie, and today I got a new tutorial for you guys. But first I want to go ahead and thank today's sponsor, me. Because I don't have sponsors, baby. Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm the Bearded Techie, and today I got a new tutorial for you guys. But first I want to go ahead and thank today's sponsor, me. Because I don't have sponsors, baby. Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm the Bearded Techie, and today I got a new tutorial for you guys. But first I want to go ahead and thank today's sponsor, me. Because I don't have sponsors, baby. Okay, as you could hear there, starting at 50%, the distortion is annoying. 75%, it's awful, and at 100%, it's unlistenable. So like I said, I highly recommend headphones for this laptop. None of those things are a deal breaker for me at all. With the temperature testing with the handoff between temperatures of the GPU, CPU, and the other components. That's not a deal breaker for me. I'm still going to keep using it with the open vent configuration that I have now, just for better performance. But that may be a deal breaker for some of you, which is why I recommend getting a second panel so you could, you know, take it on and put it off, or take it off and put it on at will, depending on what you're doing and if you need to RMA it and you don't want to send in a modified component. So a couple things that I didn't get to that a lot of people wanted me to was battery testing. What battery life can you expect web browsing and gaming on this thing, as well as testing of the display, checking for ghosting, system latency, a couple things like that, and a few other smaller things that people wanted to know about that I didn't get to in this video. So there may even be a third video going over this laptop, but I'm not sure when that's going to come. Probably soon, but still not sure on that yet. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have any questions about my testing, my methodology, about what you can expect or anything like that, go ahead and let me know in the comments below. If you liked this video, go ahead and don't forget to subscribe, hit that thumbs up button. And if you didn't like it, hit the thumbs down button. That's fine. Like I said, that's fine. Go ahead. I don't care. Go ahead and hit that thumbs down button. That's no problem. But like I said, hopefully I'll have a follow-up video coming detailing the ghosting, system latency, and battery life. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks.